I was ecstatic when I found out I was pregnant. It wasn't planned, but it felt like the perfect next step in my life. I had been with James for 4 years, and things were going great. We had the kind of relationship that people would envy. He was my rock, my best friend, and I thought he was going to be an amazing father. It's funny how everything can seem perfect until one moment changes everything. I remember the day I found out I was pregnant so clearly. We'd gone to a routine doctor's visit, and they confirmed it with a smile. James was over the moon. He wanted to tell the world, share the news with our families, and start planning for our future. But before I could even process it all, something felt off. At first, I thought it was just the nerves of becoming a mom, the excitement, and the fear all bundled up together. But it kept lingering. That nagging feeling that something wasn't right with James. He was acting strange, pulling away a little, becoming distant. I tried not to let it get to me, but it was hard to ignore. Then everything came crashing down. It happened one afternoon, when I decided to surprise him. He'd been working late a lot, and I thought I'd drop by his place with some takeout. I wanted to see him, spend some time together, and talk about baby names. But when I opened the door, I wasn't met with the warm smile I expected. Instead, I heard voices. Laughter. It sounded like James and someone else, and it came from the bedroom. I stood frozen for a moment, unsure if I should knock or walk in, but curiosity got the best of me. I quietly stepped inside, and what I saw made my heart stop. There, on the bed, was James, with my sister, Lily. I felt like the floor had been ripped out from under me. My sister, the one person I trusted most in the world, and James, the man I was about to marry and raise a child with. They weren't just sitting on the bed talking. They were tangled up in each other in a way that left no doubt about what had been happening between them. I didn't know what to do. My mind was racing, trying to process what I had just seen. The betrayal was overwhelming. I had to leave. I had to get out of there before I did something I'd regret. I quietly backed out of the room and slammed the door behind me. I stood outside for what felt like hours, just trying to calm myself down, but the anger and hurt bubbled over. How could they do this to me? How could they do this when I was carrying James's child? When I was about to start the biggest chapter of my life, they decided to rip everything apart. Eventually, I called my best friend, and she talked me through what to do next. I knew I couldn't just let this slide. I had to confront them. I had to understand why this happened, but also, I had to make a decision. I couldn't stay with someone who betrayed me like that. I couldn't have my sister in my life if she was willing to do something like this. The hardest part came when I told my parents. They were devastated. I could see the shock in their eyes, the hurt. They had always loved James like a son, and to learn he had betrayed me with my sister, it was unimaginable to them. I wasn't sure if they would ever be able to forgive either of them. The day after I found out, I confronted James. He was sorry, of course, full of apologies and excuses. But the truth was, it didn't matter. His words meant nothing now. He told me it was a mistake, that he was confused, that it was just a one-time thing. But that wasn't the point. I had been pregnant with his child, and he couldn't even be loyal for a few months. It wasn't just the physical act. It was the emotional betrayal. It was everything that had led up to that moment. And then there was my sister. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She didn't even apologize properly at first. She said she was sorry I had to find out like this, but she didn't express any real remorse. It was like she didn't care that she had destroyed everything I held dear. Now, as I sit here, I know what I have to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to expose everything. I can't keep pretending like this didn't happen. I can't keep living a lie for the sake of their comfort. I will let our families know, and I will let everyone know how much they've hurt me. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I deserve better than this. I have to protect myself and my child. And maybe, just maybe in time, I'll heal from this and find someone who will treat me with the love and respect I deserve. But right now, exposing this betrayal feels like the only way to take back control of my life. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I'm done being silent. Tomorrow, everything comes to light.